Hello everybody. I'm going to bring a different type of review to YouTube today. It's going to be on the Juice S2, and instead of it being a review of something that's newest and greatest, I thought I'd do a review of a multi-tool that I've had for about 6 years now. So this is August of 2016. Of course, it's made by Leatherman, and it's still on the market. It's changed a little bit, but if you're considering the Juice as a multi-tool, I thought you'd like to see how mine's held up over half a decade. Now, I don't carry this every single day, but I carry it a lot. I have a small farm where I have to keep up with chores and different types of things, and I do a lot of hiking and some camping and fishing and some hunting. And when I first bought this tool, I've had Leatherman for years and years and years. When I first bought it, my thought was to have something that I could keep in my pocket instead of hanging on a belt pouch. And I didn't really think of it as replacing my pocket knife. I just wanted to have something a little smaller to keep in my pocket. And after I bought it, I was carrying it more and more and more. And no, it hasn't replaced all my pocket knives. I have to admit, I'm still stuck on just having a nice pocket knife. But I do carry this a lot, and I've used it a lot. So just a quick review on what it is, and there's a bunch of reviews on YouTube, but just going to go through this real quick. Of course, what makes it very handy is having a set of pliers with you. And on this design, it's rather typical Leatherman, I guess, a little bit smaller than some of their other multi-tools, but it's the needle nose pliers at the front, regular pliers in the middle, hard wire cutters towards the front of the cutting area, and wire cutters at the very rear. On the inside, the tools you have are 3 screwdrivers, and nothing all that special. Big, medium, small. And that's probably not too big as far as screwdrivers go. One minor detraction, and I'm not sure how well the camera will pick it up. I'll use the big one. The actual blades are not all that thick. They're fine for its intended purpose. But on screws that are a little bit larger slotted screws, when using it, just have to use a little extra care to make sure you don't slip out of the slot. On the other handle, it's got a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm not a Phillips head screwdriver size expert, but I think generally it's about a number 2 size Phillips. And further down in there, I don't use it, but there's a lanyard that you can deploy out and tie a lanyard to if you'd like to. What makes this good to use for me, and I think that's of course helped its popularity, is rather than having to open the multi-tool up to get to a knife, the knife is on the outside. The knife is what Leatherman calls their 420 HC high carbon stainless steel. They use a proprietary heat treating process. I haven't done any type of extensive sharpness test. Basically, I use it until it seems like it's getting a little dull. I put it on a stone real quick and bring the edge back, and it takes just a moment. Certainly, it's good for small game. I'm not sure if you'd want to carve an elk up with this knife, but certainly for small game hunting, birds, and fishing for panfish or trout or whatnot, it handles those tasks well. On the other side of the knife is a can opener, and mine's a little stained because I go camping and I do use a can opener. And it has a bottle opener. No problem opening cans. It works a little different than the type of can opener that's on a Swiss Army knife, but it gets them open. And also it has a pair of scissors, which comes in more handy than I really thought it would. As I mentioned, I have a small farm and I have some livestock, some horses, and animals sometimes are banging themselves up, and for cutting bandages and other things, it's been real handy. Not exactly paper cutting scissors, but sometimes it's nice to have something to cut with other than a knife blade. The handles are anodized aluminum. The new style, I believe, just one half of the knife, if that's the way to explain it, one half of the multi-tool, is anodized aluminum in color, and the other side is just left as silver, and I think their thought process on that is that you can have that engraved. This knife on Amazon is now retailing for about $65, which is quite a bit, but I've been pleasantly surprised by it. It's held up really well. There's some wear, and I'm not sure how well the camera can pick that up. There's a little bit of wear on the anodized aluminum, but no huge scratches or gouges. Starting to get a little bit of wiggle at the pivot. Just as a reminder, Leatherman has a 25-year warranty. I could probably send this in and ask them to tighten it back up, but it's completely serviceable for me. The other detriment of it, it's a little bit heavy. It weighs about 4.5 ounces. I really don't notice it that much, but compared to other pocket knives, a Swiss Army Tinker, basic pocket knives that have a knife and a screwdriver and maybe one or two other tools, they weigh about half as much, but for a couple extra ounces and always having a pair of pliers handy, I think it's well worth the wait. The other thing I read a while ago with some criticisms of it was that because it doesn't have a clip or a pouch like other Leathermans, that it falls out of the pocket. And I'm not sure what you'd have to do to have this fall out of your pocket. I suppose if you're completely upside down, lots of things will come out of your pocket. But I've never had any problem with it staying in my pocket, even when I'm bending over working on machinery or doing any other type of task or chores. Pretty much sits in my pocket and is there when I need it. So that's just a short review on something that I've had for over half a decade. And if you're considering the new S2, I thought you might just like to see a video about how one's held up and if your money's well spent. I think for me, a $65 price is okay. Of course, we all like to save money. But this knife, or multi-tool, it gets cheaper and cheaper every year that I have it. Because if you spend less and it ends up breaking, well, then there's a cost and it's spent and it's gone. Every year that I have this multi-tool, it gets cheaper and cheaper. So that's my review. I hope it's of help to you, and I thank you for watching.